Is reading good for you? We often think, of course, that reading is important, good for your vocabulary and to help your thinking. And there are many reasons why we would want to read. But is it actually good for you, physically good for you? Um, People might say no, because you get a backache from reading, or your eyes get strained from looking at small text. Uh, but according to researchers at where was it? Yale University, famous for their locks. No, famous university in America. They studied 3,635 people, got right here, who are over 50 years old. People older, as old as me, actually. And they studied people who read, and people who read for 3.5 hours a week, or people who read. Okay, they split them up into people who didn't read at all, no books, people who read less than 3.5 hours a week, and people who read more than 3.5 hours a week. Guess what they found out? Well, according to the researchers, people who read more than 3.5 hours a week, who read books, not just email messages, those people live on average 23 months, that's almost 2 years, longer than people who don't read. Really? So, in theory, if you read a lot, you will actually increase your life expectancy, how long you can live, by almost 2 years. Can this be true? I am skeptical. I'm doubtful. I don't quite believe. Or, or rather, it may be another reason. Yes, the people who read a lot live a little bit longer, but maybe it's because those are the same people who have better jobs or are educated, and therefore their life is maybe easier. Maybe. Um, it's an interesting thought, though, that somehow reading the researchers they gave their opinion about why this could be true, and they think that it's not reading emails and what they call periodicals, magazines, and things that appear sometimes, news, things on your telephone. That's not so beneficial. Much better is reading novels and long form books. And they think maybe the reason for that, if it's true, is that if you're reading a book, you have to think a little bit harder about what the book means. You have to do a bit of work, which is good for your brain. And therefore, if it's good for your brain, it's good for your whole body. That's one reason. The other reason, if you're reading a novel, um, what's really fun about a novel is you can enter into the world of the novel if it's a good novel, if it's well written, and you become like that character, and you get very passionate and emotionally involved. The word for it is empathy. Empathy. You feel what the character is feeling. If it's a good book, if you've ever read a really good book and you have to race through and finish and get to the end and go, oh, that was so great. Often it's because you feel the adventure that character is feeling. And that is very healthy for you. It helps your perception, it helps your intelligence, it helps your emotional development. Maybe, the researchers think, maybe that's why people live longer who read books. I couldn't help, but it made me think. I read this um, information on the website on a where was it on Facebook somewhere, but it made me think of a famous quote by Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan was an astronomer, and he had a TV program in the when was that 1970s, talking about life. He wrote he wrote the book Contact, which was made into a movie about discovering alien life. Uh, anyway, he had a really good quote. Let me read this to you and see if it makes sense. Astronomer Carl Sagan, this is last paragraph here. Let me zoom in. Astronomer Carl Sagan maybe said it best. What an astonishing thing a book is. What an amazing thing. It's a flat object made from a tree with flexible parts, pages, on which are imprinted lots of funny dark squiggles, lots of little images. But one glance, one look, at it, and you're inside the mind of another person, maybe somebody dead for thousands of years. Yeah, it's true. You get into a book. It could be written by a dead person, but you are seeing the world how they saw it. Writing, and this is the good bit, writing is perhaps the greatest of human inventions, binding together people who never knew each other. A book is proof that humans are capable of working magic. So Carl Sagan thinks it's a kind of magic. You enter into the book and you enter into the mind of the person who wrote it. Even better than video or any other art forms. Maybe, I don't know. I'd like to believe that. I like books, as you can see. Okay, I've got 3 questions. Number 1, oops. How many hours a week do you read books? Be honest. You know, actually, I like books, but I don't think I spend 3.5 hours every week. I need to read more. How many for you? Number 2, what other reasons could there be that book readers seem to live longer than non-readers? If it's true that book readers live longer, why do you think that is? Could it be from reading, or is it some other reason? Number 3, do you think that a book is a kind of magic? Like that's the quote from Carl Sagan. Are there better ways of passing information from one generation to another than through a book? Or is the book the best way of passing information? They seem a little bit old-fashioned now because everybody has smartphones. But is there still an advantage to books? I'm interested in what you think. Okay. My final point, I just wanted to make, it's a useful word when talking about this topic. 2 useful words. Correlation is not causation. What? Correlation, if you correlate something, means you see a pattern that's the same, right? But sometimes you can see a pattern that's the same, but it's not causation. One doesn't cause the other thing. It's not because they are related. They just happen to be related. And this might be true of many surveys and things. Oh, people who read books live longer. Well, that may be true, but it may be nothing to do with reading books. It could be another cause. Let me give you another example, different example. So correlation is not causation. For example, the number of people eating ice cream is related to the number of shark attacks. If you look at a graph over the year, the number of shark attacks goes up like this and then it goes down like this. Also, the number of people eating ice cream goes up and then it goes down. And you might say, so therefore, if you eat ice cream, you are more likely to be attacked by a shark. Well, that's ridiculous, right? Probably there's another reason. It could well be that in hot weather, you like to eat ice cream. In hot weather, you like to go swimming. Well, therefore, the true reason why there are more shark attacks in hot weather is because it's hot weather. It's nothing, and that's the reason why you eat ice cream. It's nothing. They're not caused by each other. They're just correlated. They just happen to follow the same thing, and the true reason is something else. That's correlation is not causation. It's a very useful idea when making arguments or studying something. Wow, what a lot of information, eh? Okay, well, good luck. Okay, I'm just sort of interested in what you think about reading. Is it really healthy? That's the topic. So good luck with those questions. I will see you soon. Thank you very much. Oh, I always have a problem turning this off. Let's see. Okay, stop recording. Okay, see you soon.